Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About Pop Culture. This week we tackle That 70s Show, what it did right, at least for the most part. That 70s Show was a multicam sitcom that aired on Fox and premiered on August 23rd, 1998, and ran for 8 seasons until May 18th, 2006. The show was very similar to other sitcoms at the time. Multicam, filmed in front of a live studio audience, and had quick-fire jokes. The thing that set it apart was that it was set in the 1970s, hence the name, That 70s Show. Period TV shows were not a new thing at the time, but they were scarce in the comedy and sitcom genre. The best known example of it before That 70s Show was Happy Days, which ran from 1974 to 1984 and was set in the 1950s and 1960s. That 70s Show was a big hit for Fox and quickly became one of their flagship shows. As with many shows, That 70s Show found new life and a brand new audience with the rise of streaming services, specifically Netflix. That 70s Show was one of the most watched shows on the service, along with other classics such as The Office and Friends. This video is about what That 70s Show did to break away from the formulaic, dime a dozen, multicam sitcoms of the late 90s and early 2000s. One of the defining characteristics of the show was the setting. That 70s Show was set in the year 1976 and followed a group of teenagers in a small town in Wisconsin, as they went through the things all teenagers have to go through. Having the show set in such an iconic time period in the US was a gamble for the show. The show didn't want to overly rely on 70s references, but also wanted to take full advantage of the time period and the culture the show was set in. That 70s Show was able to strike a balance between these two. The show never relied too much on making "this is the 70s" jokes, and never used the time period of the show itself as a main source of humor. The main source of humor was the characters interacting with each other and with the time period. This type of humor is on display in the Season 1 episode, A New Hope, where the gang goes and sees the movie Star Wars.
I am so excited about Star Wars.
Fezzy man, it's Star Wars.
Screw that.
Throughout the episode, we see how the different members of the gang react to Star Wars. Eric obviously loves it, as he is a huge comic book nerd. Kelso also loves it and goes back to see it multiple times, which is something a lot of people did when the original Star Wars was released. This is one of my personal favorite episodes because of what it did and also what it didn't do. It treated Star Wars as a standalone movie, which at the time was what it was. There was no original trilogy, prequels, sequels, expanded universe, nothing like that. There was only Star Wars. Many other shows set in a similar time would have made jokes and cheeky little nods at the pop culture behemoth and franchise that Star Wars has become. This is a small thing in the context of this one episode, but over the course of 200 plus episodes, this kind of smug, winking at the camera, breaking the fourth wall would have gotten old and would have turned the show into a one-trick pony. One of the things that a lot of comedic shows struggle with is dramatic moments. One of my major pet peeves is when a comedy show has a dramatic moment and they throw in a cheap joke during the scene. It ruins any emotional connection to the moment and to the characters. That 70s Show demonstrated many times that they knew how to interweave dramatic, emotional moments into a comedy. They knew that to sacrifice a few laughs, it would help to deepen your connection to a character. This shows the depth that the show's writing staff has, and shows that the characters they created were three-dimensional and not just joke machines. Even early on in That 70s Show, we see how the show will handle these dramatic moments. In the 23rd episode of Season 1, Grandma's Dead, Red spends the entire episode not showing his true grief about his mother's death, until the very end.
Hey Dad, nice trains.
Yeah. You know, I can't believe that your grandma held on to them all these years. I thought she'd thrown them away.
Yeah, she was a good egg, Grandma.
Yeah, she was. You know, when I was a little boy, I hated peaches. And Mom knew that, so whenever she made a peach pie, she'd make a little blueberry pie. Special. Just for me. You know, she was the first one to call me Red. And the last time I saw her, I didn't say I love you. I didn't even say goodbye. I said, show me the taillights.
The show also handles breakups differently than any other comedy at the time did. One of the best and most heartbreaking scenes in the show is when Eric and Donna break up at the end of season 3 in the episode The Promise Ring.
Hey, what are you doing out here?
I wanted to talk to you. Okay, this is gonna be hard. Eric, I love you. A lot. But I have to give you your ring back.
What? Why?
Okay. How do you see the next 20 years?
I don't know. I guess I always figured we'd go to college together and come home.
Yeah, but Eric, you know that's not what I want. I mean, I've told you that. And who knows? I might want to go to school back east or maybe in Paris.
Okay, well, you know what, Donna? Whatever, okay? The important thing is when you see yourself in Paris or wherever, I'm there, right? Right?
I don't know. Not always. I mean, it's not like there's anyone else, but sometimes I'm by myself. I mean, all I mean is I don't know. Neither of us does. And this ring is just a stupid high school promise. If we're meant to be together, then we'll end up together.
No. The way we end up together is by saying we'll be together and then being together.
Eric, come on. We're together now. Isn't that enough?
No! I mean, damn, Donna. If you can see a future for yourself without me, and that doesn't, like, break your heart, then we're not doing what I thought we were doing here. And you know what? Maybe we shouldn't even be together at all.
Wait a minute. Are you breaking up with me?
Well, are you giving back that ring?
Yes.
Then... yes.
There are numerous moments where the show has true heart, and just for a moment the show stops being purely a comedy and sacrifices a joke or two to add character development to the series. That's one of the most important things that 70s show did, and things that comedies at the time either couldn't or wouldn't do, and some comedies today still won't or can't do. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please go and give it a like, and also be sure to subscribe to Let's Talk About Pop Culture so you don't miss part 2, and you don't miss all the other amazing pop culture content I have coming up soon. If you're a fan of That 70s Show, make sure to tell me in the comments what your favorite part of the show is. I've been Charles from Let's Talk About Pop Culture. Thanks for watching.